welcome back to another episode of Girl Talk with J Belle. Of course, I am J Belle, so welcome, guys. I'm glad that you stuck around and you watched all my episodes. If you haven't, let me get this little lipstick out or a little hair off my lipstick here. Okay. This is in live time. If you haven't, catch up on all streaming services and my YouTube channel right here. Click subscribe, do all that good stuff. In the meantime, I have another special guest. I love bringing on some dope-ass ladies, including this one right here. I've watched her journey for a long time as she has transitioned into a beautiful woman. And we're going to talk more about that story. She's also a radio producer, television producer, a transgender activist. The list goes on. She does so many different things. Welcome to the show, Morgan Sherm. Did I say that right? I want to make sure. Yes.
You did.
Thank you. And thank you for being a part of my podcast. I appreciate your presence.
The applause.
Yes, don't you want to? Here go another one for you. Oh, no, that ain't the right. I do that every time. There we go.
There we go.
All yeah, that's what we like, right? The DJ horn?
Yeah. We love it.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm good.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing throughout this whole pandemic? It's been, by the time this airs, it's been like a little bit over a year.
Yeah.
Have you been good at, you dealing and working and keeping busy, that sort of thing?
I've grown a lot over the last year. I can honestly say that. I think this pandemic has really taught me about being selfless a lot more. Right around the top of the pandemic, probably a little bit before, I had taken on an additional role caring for my grandmother. And because she's immunocompromised, I'm, locked in with her. And it's a journey. It's a lot, but I'm grateful that I'm here. I've learned a lot being around her. I'd say adapted to more responsibilities, based on just her age and some of the other things we all have to be aware of. But I believe it's given me a glimpse into a nurturing aspect of womanhood that I hadn't experienced personally. So I'm grateful for that.
So definitely learning a lot more about yourself, learning patience.
Yes.
Because obviously when the world was wide open, we were always on the go, in a rush to do everything. And, I ain't gonna say everyone, but, out getting in the streets. But I can definitely understand that. The same thing with me, too, at the start of this. I don't live with anyone. I live by myself, and I have family close by, but obviously we all have our own different lives. So learning how to be patient and really work within what you got.
But are you grateful because your family is close by? Because I know that there are some people who have been isolated from family a lot more than we have,
Right, exactly. I am very thankful because I had a major surgery last July, which I've also been very open about. Okay. I got like 7 fibroids removed from me. Wow. And if I would have waited longer, I would have had to get a hysterectomy, which means, I wouldn't have been able to have children. At least this way, I'm still able to have children. And my aunt and my cousins were the one taking care of me after I got out of the hospital. And then I was by myself for 2 months because, they have to live their lives too. Yeah. So it's definitely a learning experience to learn my body again, learn how to do certain things again, because you get so lazy, you become unproductive. And so you got to get in the mindset of wanting to do stuff. So I just had to jump up and start getting back into doing my own thing. And, here we are. I got a whole nother season going on with this podcast, and I've worked on other stuff, and the wheels have been moving. But this ain't about me. We talking about you, okay? Okay, Miss Morgan Sherm, And just for people that are watching this and they get a lot more information, we want to know your pronouns. You have it on the screen for me, but they're not going to see it later when I do the actual post editing. So tell us your pronouns.
Okay. First of all, that's a great question to always ask. I'm be honest, I start every meeting and I basically started every interaction I have with someone
Mm-hmm.
by introducing myself and stating my pronouns to invite them to do so. Because I think as we continue to grow, and shift as a people in a society, we should always be very inclusive when it comes to pronouns. My pronouns are she, her. Um, Primarily, though, the reason I advocate for pronoun usage at all times, even though one would look at me and see she, her, I am conscious of the fact that I have non binary siblings who exist. I have agender siblings who exist, gender non-conforming siblings who exist, and they and their pronouns are just as valid.
Right. And I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. I have a coworker, and she was very adamant about the everybody in the department knowing her pronouns, which I believe were them and they. That's what she
So
wanted.
their pronouns are they and them,
Right.
not,
Yeah.
not
There. I'm
she and her.
sorry. Yeah. Their
Or not
pronouns.
now. Some people do go by she, they. Some people go
Mm-hmm.
by he, they.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, it's appropriate to use both. But that moment, yes, their
Right.
pronouns are
Yeah.
they, them.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah. Their pronouns were them and they. That's the way I should have
Yeah,
formatted that sentence instead of saying she. So, thank you for correcting me on that. See, things like this we have to learn and understand
yeah.
um, on our own because it's not anyone's job. Just like when it comes down to race, to have educate us on these type of terminology,
And I
especially.
hear you when you say that it's not our responsibility, but I take a different approach in the way
Mm,
that a lot of people that I've engaged with, I've been blessed and fortunate that while I did have a lot of people who stepped out of my life when I transitioned, I've had a lot of people who have stayed in my life. And as they've stayed in my life, it's been a transition for them, a lot of them, because they come from, cishet backgrounds. And so I try to navigate with a little grace with individuals because I believe that while people can be ignorant,
mm-hmm.
I think as long as someone is not maliciously ignorant, I should always offer them grace because the same was offered to me at some point.
Right. And I appreciate that. I'm glad that you clarified that. I think a lot of times people are like myself. You know, we all deal with so much that we're scared that if we don't have everything perfect
Yeah.
or don't understand everything in that moment, that we're going to offend or it may be taken malicious when in reality, like you said, we may be just
Yeah.
misinformed. Um, so thank you for clarifying that. But let's go ahead and jump into your backstory. Give me your backstory, and then we're going to dive more into the conversation of your transition and how you've become an activist and that and those things.
Okay. So you want to know how I started?
Yeah, how you started, like your life before becoming, your life before that, and then how you decided
Okay.
in your heart and in your mind that you weren't in the right body, if
Okay.
I'm saying that correctly.
No, that's okay. So radio radio became a part of me really early. I want to say like my sophomore year of high school. I had I had been blessed to take part in a program with Kennedy King College here in Chicago, and the program was for high school students, and it was a program where we would create and curate our own radio program on their low powered FM station every Friday. I jumped in head over heels the minute I got behind the board, and I basically told myself privately, I was like, none of these other kids are gonna ever touch this. And the reality is, as things happened over the next few weeks, those kids just suddenly stopped showing up, and they ended up ending the program, and it became my show on Friday nights. So in high school, to my senior year, I had a radio show every Friday night. And I took it very, very seriously as far as planning my rotation, as far as, finding people I would interview or have come in and sit down with me. Um, uh, I had started playing with like Magic's music editor and editing music and stuff to play myself. So that really drove me to when I was applying for colleges. I had kind of convinced myself that I need to go to HBCU because I felt like I wasn't black enough, um, which I do think that some light skinned people deal with. And so I decided on Tennessee State. They just won Black College Radio Station of the Year, and I got there head over heels. I mean, the summer before I got to school, I was calling the student run radio station, telling them that I was on the way. I got there. Um, Same thing basically. Like from my sophomore year to my senior year, I produced and hosted a 5 day a week morning show. It was a
Wow.
student run station, but I knew that I wanted to work in mornings. So I started doing it just to get in the habit of it. I mean, building my schedule around my radio show. Um, and look at me years later, still very passionate about broadcast, still very interconnected, um, you know, and then I ended up in Chicago.
So you ended up in Chicago. Okay. And then you ended up, I don't know if you want to talk about your time with Urban One.
No, I can. No, no, no. I can talk about
Okay.
all of it. I was gonna let you go. I was doing it like a story almost, just letting you,
Okay,
lead in. I
okay.
wasn't trying to
So
just keep talking. So
oh no, no, you're totally fine. Like this is your time to tell your story. But you went to Chicago.
yeah,
And when I heard about you, you were with Urban One.
that
You
was at Radio One.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Radio
So
One.
before I was Radio One, um, when I first got out of college, I was assistant producing, and locally producing Doug Banks syndicated. He had a syndicated show,
What? The
and so yeah,
late Doug
Doug
Banks.
Banks. Yeah,
So you got to
the
work with like
late
Dee Dee
yes, the late
McGuire.
Doug Banks and Dee Dee McGuire. Yes,
Oh
they
my
were.
God.
I'm so proud of Dee Dee right now. But
Yes, I love Dee Dee.
I was working at their flagship, V103 in Chicago.
Hmm.
I was also board operating for Jesse Jackson, who did his syndicated show from the studios in iHeart Media Chicago.
Uh-huh.
So that was a cool experience. I worked with Jesse for a few years. After that, I got the opportunity to executive produce the morning shows at WGCI. I did that for some years, probably about 5 years, um,
Wow.
before I had a brief hiatus.
Mm.
Due to budget cuts. And during that year and a half, I was very much so tracking down everybody. So you mentioned Urban One.
Hmm.
My way of communicating with everyone was somebody on the inside told me, "Hey, Erica Campbell is starting a gospel morning show,
Okay.
a syndicated gospel morning show." So what I did was I said, "Okay, Erica gonna be in Chicago this weekend, so I'm going to go to that thing that she's at,
Hmm.
find my way backstage, and then I'm gonna introduce myself because the show ain't getting announced until next week. And then that way I already have my, name in the ring."
Right.
Um, Now keep in mind this is the same Saturday that Lemonade premiered on HBO. I
Oh,
remember
see.
it because I was sitting there watching Lemonade as I was getting ready to introduce myself to Erica Campbell. Introduce myself, ended up um, having people speak on my behalf to the head of urban programming
Mm-hmm.
for Urban One at the time, which was Kobe, who he's now the president of the program, I believe. But
Yeah.
yeah, they flew me down there for audition with Erica Campbell. Stayed in contact with that, but I was also staying abreast of another situation that they had going on, which was the morning show in DC.
Right.
And I knew that that's what I wanted to be. And so DC, I will never forget how it happened because Kobe didn't think that I was interested in going back into hip hop. And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm DC, yeah. Plus, my brother was out there, JR Bang. So I
Bang.
I got a call from I never forget. Bang hit me and said, "Yo, I don't even know if you coming out is still a possibility." I said, "Why?" He said, "Cause now they looking for her co-host." I said, "What you mean?" Come find out they just let go of Mo. That next
Mm.
day, that next day,
Uh-huh.
they was booking my ticket to fly me out there to be with they show for a few days
To kind of
in DC.
feel them out and
Yeah.
see if you guys will work together.
And
And
so
this was with Quick
DJ,
and
yeah,
Quick
quick.
and Lil Mo,
Now, this
right?
was quick, right before Lil Mo, right after Lil Mo had left. They flew
Oh,
me out
okay.
there to you know, rock with Quick, and then um, Danny Starr came. Me and Danny started on the same day.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. And so you guys together made up the fam,
The
which was
fam in the
already named
morning.
the fam,
Yeah,
but she came in and took that spot after Lil
yeah.
Mo left.
Lil Mo, yeah. The fam in
Okay.
the morning.
Okay. That's how that happened. Because I remember seeing Quick and Lil Mo together. Then all of a sudden, Lil Mo was gone. And then I don't think I seen anything else about it for a while until that huge. I knew Danny Starr was still there, but it was even bigger when that whole incident went down.
Okay.
And it was one of those things where you're looking like, what is going on? And the reason why I'm asking you to bring up your backstory is because, and I'm glad you brought up J.R. Bang too, because he was like the link between us online editors, because that's what I was at the time working there, and what was going on at Kiss. And the one thing that came to mind that was really crazy, we all knew it was fake, but I think the other thing that was crazy to me in my mind was how it went down and how it came down to they let you go before anything else happened. It was kind of like you were the scapegoat, and it was like, why are they putting? Because I don't know of your pronouns at that time.
No,
Um,
I was, and it was so. Let me say this. I I recognize that it was a difficult situation for
okay.
everyone to navigate. I was when I got to DC, I had known that I wanted to transition,
Okay.
but I was still I was still the old me when I got there. And I'll never forget it was it was it took a happenstance moment for me to meet Martine Rossblatt's daughter, who Martine Rossblatt is. She's one of the wealthiest people in the world, and she's also a trans woman who has a black wife. She transitioned when she was 40. She transitioned, and after she transitioned, they had a child who had a illness that was incurable,
Mm-hmm.
They took all of their fortune and put it into a pharmaceutical company
Mm-hmm.
to develop a drug to cure their baby. They happened to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That company was called United Therapeutics.
Oh wow. Okay.
I reached out to Martine to talk about her story while I was
Mm-hmm.
still into Chicago because it was so unique to me. Martine's daughter, who had been saved, reached out to me via Instagram and we had started talking.
Mm-hmm.
I was standing on a balcony pondering my existence when I first got to DC.
Right.
When Genesis reached out to me and Genesis told me, relax, yada, yada, yada. I said, I just made this wild move to DC. I've tried to leave my transgenderness behind, but I'm still in this place where I'm just
Wow.
lost. And she said to me, she said, don't even worry about it. She said, I'm headed to DC right now.
Mm.
I said, what do you mean? No idea where this girl lived. She lived in the same section of DC that I did. Not only that, her childhood home
Mm-hmm.
and the company that her parents put the money into to save her life was literally around the corner from the radio station. I had no idea that this was going to happen. So that,
Wow.
you know, she became my sister in a way, and she truly helped me. Again, it was a difficult way that it entered the public realm
Mm-hmm.
because someone shared my identity before I was ready to.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so I was outed, but I was outed in a way that the way that I guess God wanted it to
Mm-hmm.
happen. With that said, Urban One, I was their first I was their first openly trans employee. And because of that, it was difficult for them. Like, I'll never forget, uh, we had a seminar where a lawyer came in, and the seminar was to discuss how to interact with your trans coworker. I was the only
Only
trans
one.
coworker. Everybody else was required to go to the meeting. I was not required to, but at that point, I felt like, well, y'all are putting me in a weird kind of
Yeah.
situation.
So you felt like you needed to be there to kind of see like, well, what information are
Yeah.
they sharing
And it
here?
was there that I heard, women say, I'm uncomfortable being in the bathroom with a trans person and, you know, and all of this. So
That's
I'll say that and what you're speaking about is a sketch that we did that
mm-hmm.
got taken.
Way out of context.
It blew up in a way that was unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I ended up being a scapegoat because it made sense for their culture at that time.
I get what you're saying. I do want to back up a little bit though, because of the fact that number one, you were outed before your time, but number two, you said something that was like, "Wow, like how how can you feel that way about yourself?" Which is you were trying to leave behind your transgenderness when you moved to DC. Why did you feel like you needed to do that? Is
Um,
my question.
okay. Well, I'll be honest, it was rough, I don't want to give you the same story of being raised in the church and
I
all
mean, but
that.
if that's your story,
No, but it
share it.
was. It was.
Yeah.
Like I knew I'll say that I recognized that my gender identity was different
Mm-hmm.
at the age of 13. took action at 14, and I was punished at 15. And so from that moment on, I got in line.
Can you elaborate a little bit more when you say in line? Because I guess because I think because of the world that I live in, myself, my
Yeah.
bubble, you know, um, I feel like when you are accepting of one's way of life, there's nothing else to it but you to understand it or leave it be, if that makes sense. You know, like we talked earlier, you're able and you're willing to give people some grace in understanding certain things when it comes to being transgender. And so when I hear stuff like that, it breaks my heart more than anything because I've seen it. I've seen transgender. I've seen it firsthand before. Okay, let me go back a little bit. So I was living in North Carolina, and this is when they passed that huge law, where basically transgenders couldn't use their identities bathrooms.
Bathrooms, yeah.
And so before that, I will say I had never seen a transgender woman up close or transgender men. I knew they existed, but never seen them up close and personal. And so when this law passed, it was like all of a sudden I'm seeing them in front of my face, and I was trying to understand, why would you ban somebody who identifies in their mind and in their body who they are from using something as simple as a bathroom? This is their way of life. You cannot dictate how they live or who
Can't
they can
dictate who
be.
they are. It's not even the
Exactly.
way of life. It's who we are. And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. And so that's why I'm asking, like, when you say you had to be in line at 15,
to
can
get
you,
in line, yeah, it
how,
was. So I'll say this: I just so happened to start wearing women's clothing at the age of 15.
mm,
Partially, I had been sharing just some of my
hold on.
thoughts.
Hold on a second. Morgan, I'm sorry. Like, we started this and I'm like in the middle of working. So let me pause you right quick. And we're okay. All right. So we were talking about how you had to stay in line. You're about to break that
Yeah.
down for me. So talk about that a little bit.
Okay. So I started wearing women's clothing at the age of 15. I had started telling some classmates my thoughts and insecurities, and it just felt normal. It honestly felt normal for me.
Okay.
I I came home from school one day. My mom was off. She had discovered that I was wearing women's clothing, particularly women's undergarments, and we didn't talk about it. I was sent on a church retreat um, that weekend, and when I was sent on that church retreat, I was privately addressed about it through prayer and prayer language,
Mm,
and that started a process of me feeling as though I was I was being wrong, that I was doing something inappropriate or deviant, and that those feelings of shame continued well into my 20s. So when I say got in line, I mean I basically conformed and became what I needed to be so that I could be okay, in a way.
mm.
I could be what's perceived as okay.
So you were
I
able
did it
to,
pretty well, I would say, for a while.
yeah. So when you say that, you mean like, you know, making yourself seem okay enough so that people are not questioning who you are.
Yeah, I mean, like, or even be okay. Like, I knew if I would have pressed the issue as a
Mm-hmm.
teenager, I would have got kicked out the house. Getting kicked out the house, I probably wouldn't have been able to go to college. And being
Oh,
able to go to
gosh.
college, I probably would have not had certain opportunities and experiences. So,
And that sucks that our community thinks that way, or the world, really. But it's really bad within our community. And I do want to ask you, because of the fact that you are now more open about it than you were then, how much do you believe that your background has influenced your career? And I ask that in the way of helping others that are transitioning or already transgender women or men, uh, influencing that community to be open within their dreams and aspirations and
mm,
living in, in their truth.
I definitely think that it's, I think that when it comes to being able to have a real dream, you know, or something that you want to do, or even I'm be honest, I think our dreams as trans people sometimes are just to exist.
Mm.
I hate saying it that way, but it's,
Yeah.
you just want to have a fair shot at life or a full life. And so, me having a passion of running a radio station, podcasting at work, like those dreams seem possible for me because I hid myself for a decade and I developed some expertise to put me in a position to where that might be a possibility. But the reality is, most times, people who are more brave than me and they don't back down, when their parents tell them to as children. They push forward, they stand on it. They don't have those same opportunities. So their lives are kind of shaped in a way where it's there's a double pleated glass ceiling.
Mm. Wow. I see like a sadness in your eyes, and I don't want you to be sad. I want to talk about fun stuff. If it's gonna make you smile,
No, it's important. I think that this is important stuff, though.
and I understand it. I know that it dredges up a lot because we all have our own, I mean, shit to deal with. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Different traumas and how we deal with it in different ways. And I'm not saying that this is, any type of way of just shit. This is huge, especially when you look at the history of um, gay, queerness, transgenders in the hip hop community
yeah,
and being a part of urban radio, and you're being the first one that's put out there really without your permission, not something you asked for, not what you wanted. Um, and the timing of you being let go and stuff, it's kind of just like very um, sort of thing of frustrating because we live in a world that is so modern but yet so behind
yeah.
in their way of thinking,
But
especially in.
I will say this. I think me not being in terrestrial radio at the moment, that whole
Mhm.
situation, I want to say it led me to another part of my journey,
Mm.
which is advocacy and activism. Um, because I still have proximity to certain, and I have ability to navigate certain spaces
Mm-hmm.
where I can engage other people who might not have, you know,
The same
had the
opportunity.
ability to be engaged, you know.
Right. And I'm glad that you brought that up because one of my questions was, will be, or is going to be, your position with the Lighthouse Foundation. You're their BQC program coordinator.
Yes. The Black Queer
And
Caucus program coordinator. So that project, it is very important to me, that type of work.
mm-hmm.
So Lighthouse Foundation is a foundation that we fight for equity, and fight for equity and prosperity amongst Black queer people through education, entertainment, and co-conspiracy. By co-conspiracy, I mean allies. I'm all
Okay.
co-conspirators. Um, and their work started in response to some racism that was happening in one of the neighborhoods here in Chicago. And working with Lighthouse has been a blessing. I was a little leery about taking on something like this early on, but I've been able to do some things that I didn't ever think I see myself doing, you know?
Right. God
Um,
has a way of taking you in a different
yeah.
direction.
I spoke at a church a few weeks ago. Didn't think I would
Wow.
be doing that. Spoke at the university for the first time a few weeks ago, because of the work that I'm doing with Lighthouse. And I am going to be speaking to the U.S. Senate in support of the equity bill next month. So um, this is really important work that needs to be done.
That
And I'm
is
also allowed to utilize some of the stuff that I do, some of my some of like my work in media and
mm-hmm.
journalism. I've been able to integrate the two in a way.
That is
And by that I
huge.
mean there have been more trans people being murdered, more black and brown trans people being murdered in the United States each year. It's
Right.
increased since 2013. Particularly here in Chicago, we've had various situations. We had a young lady, Courtney Shakey, who was murdered on Christmas Day. We had DeVarier Alexander, who was murdered on January 5th. And in both of those cases, there were situations with some of the news publications here
Mm-hmm.
that they dead named and misgendered them in their publications. And this has been an issue that I've seen constantly throughout all publications in the
Mm-hmm.
United States, where consciously and unconsciously we're not thought of.
Yeah.
We don't get the integrity even in depth. And so I was able to partner with GLAD, the national organization,
Wow.
and we are holding those publications accountable now. So much so that me and GLAD sat with one of those publications recently, their CEO, their publisher, and their editor in chief, and we got some, we got some, yeah, we got them together some, and I have a training. No, I have a training coming up that I'm leading with GLAD, with their
Okay.
entire newsroom, about how to properly write and tell stories about transgender and non-binary people, and also that you should not just be telling stories about our pain, but maybe you should tell stories about our joy and some of the phenomenal things we do. And so that is why that work is really important to me.
Yeah, it looks like the joy on your face is totally different. It's a passion, and that's awesome. That's definitely awesome how you've been able to change that around. And I think that's something that needs to be said and seen. And the one thing that you mentioned about, so many transgender women have been murdered since 2013. That's a story in itself that's been overlooked, even with
And I want to
all.
say before 2013, I just want to say we started tracking the numbers specifically in 2013, but
Mm,
well before that,
right.
like Pose, as much as people look at Pose and consider it, fantasy, no, Pose is a period piece in which these are true stories that they are telling,
Mm,
even as they integrate,
right.
some fantasy. This is real, and this was real in the late 80s, early 90s. And we're still dealing with some of these same situations.
Yeah, we are, and it was really big last summer. I want to say because I think every week, if not every day, especially on Twitter, I was always seeing a story about another transgender woman going missing or has been found and was murdered.
And that's where it becomes, it's like we're trauma porn. That's what it seems as though
Right.
our existence becomes. It becomes trauma porn.
Yeah, and
So much so to the point that I honestly have to have conversations with people and say, hey, if I become another one of those who are lost or who meet an early demise, can you make sure that I'm not just used as trauma porn?
right.
And it seems very tragic to have to say that, but there's a reality to it.
Yeah,
And
and
I
I
think
believe.
until that's not a reality,
Mm-hmm.
we should always be fighting and making sure that all of our trans and non-binary siblings are protected.
And you're right. But in my heart, I feel like you got too many hitters behind you for anybody to let anything happen to you because you're such a huge influence in the community, and not just the transgender community, but the Chicago community too. It's like you have a huge following of people that really love you and respect you. So I feel like nothing could happen to you. Not that you're invincible, but I'm just saying there's a lot of people that are protective of you, and that's really good to have, especially in these times where whether you're a woman or
Yeah.
a transgender woman,
We ain't got to talk
you've
about my gang history like that.
you said gang, gang, gang. Yeah, so whether or you feel like you have to go out and protect yourself because men are crazy. I mean, just point blank in the period, they a little crazy, you know. So my next question to you is I want to hit radio a little bit because you have your ups and downs, and you've been in the business a long time. What are some of your best moments that you've had working in radio?
Hmm. We got to tell a Rhodes Scholar that they been awarded a Rhodes Scholarship one time. They were unaware
Wow.
that they were winning. So me, along with the Rhodes Scholar people, we got to wake them up with that news, and that was really really dope. Um, hmm. I, I'm trying to think. I mean, I've had a lot of fun experiences, but they always involve like giving back or doing things, for people. Like celebrities are cool, but they should be excited to see me. So
Right. And tell it like
they
it
should
is.
be excited to see me. But I have some wonderful people as well, and I have kept some beautiful relationship with people, and I mean, I eventually hope to get back into it. So
Yeah, so while we all are, especially those of us that work in the entertainment realm, we're suffering with COVID. A lot of things shut down. Radio suffered huge. I've talked about this many times on my podcast. Uh, what are you doing to, stay busy? I see your podcast, Another Element.
yes, I'm podcasting right now. Also, I listen to about 20 to 25 podcasts a week. I still take in about 6 hours of radio a day. I also have a notebook where I like take notes and try to measure, like, okay, this person is talking about this. If this on this day, this person talked about this time. This person talked about this in this way, and then I like look at the news from the day before or the day after tomorrow to see like where people are doing things. I'm also like always show prepping in a way, and it's just to keep me fresh, you know.
Radio never leaves you.
Yeah.
No matter where you go or what you do, radio stays with you once you're in it. So yeah, the prep work that you put into it, you're getting ready to do another morning show. I'm just gonna say that right here. It's coming soon. It's coming to you soon. Regardless of whether you're looking for it or not. God blesses us in mysterious ways. Let's talk about something a little different. Got some of the serious stuff out the way. Dating. Are we dating?
We're not dating right now. We are not. We would like to, but I'm learning how to date again.
Okay.
That's really interesting for me because I was dating as a cisgender man for so long that I took on certain habits and practices that I've had to learn how to change.
So I don't know if this is appropriate for me to ask. Are you, I don't want to say lesbian, but you're into women, or are you like taking the world on and starting to date?
I identify as pansexual.
Okay, so when you say pansexual,
that means that I am open to people of all genders.
Got you. Okay, so you love who you love.
Yes.
Okay. So people, if you're single and you're looking,
well, don't look at me today. I'm in between installs right now.
You know what, Morgan?
In between installs right now, baby. See.
Listen, we in
you
a
lucky you ain't get me in a bonnet tonight. You lucky.
Oh, thank you. Well, I appreciate that.
First of all, I would have been cute in a bonnet. Don't.
I need you not to do a bonnet on my podcast, though. Okay.
I go to the gas station with it, and the boys.
That is the gas station.
And the boys talk. They be like,
that is the gas station. If we was gonna do bonnets tonight, you should have told me.
The gas station is such an amazing place to get compliments. I fish for compliments at the gas station. I love it.
Gas stations used to be good to me.
Right now, just tell me. I'm wearing a mask on and everything. Just keep telling me. Keep talking to me.
Oh my God.
Mask on, bonnet, sweatpants. They gonna say, "Damn, man, you gorgeous." Okay, I needed that today.
You are a mess. I used to love like the gas station to get compliments like that too, but now I go to the gas station. I'm usually like all sweatpants out with a sweatshirt, looking a little homely. So they
don't care.
Oh, the ones out here, they do. Listen, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. They like they women exotic looking.
Well, that's because it's too hot for sweatpants out there. So,
well, that's why I go at night when it's a little bit cooler. During the day, yeah, you're right. It's too hot. It's like 116 degrees. I don't go outside during the day. Who does that? Okay, so before we close out, we're going to play a little game of Black Car Revolt. But before that, another talent I found out you had, and I found this out on Twitter because you were talking about it a lot. You are a comedian. Why? Why you don't sound excited about
No, I
that?
am. I've actually been writing a joke a day. Because since the pandemic, I've been very like patchy with my comedy. I enjoy being on stage. Like it is so warm, and I pick up the energy from people. Like also, I can bully people on stage, and it's really fun.
I love to hear
I
that.
apologize for the bully part. I shouldn't say that, but
But I love to hear that because I got a little task for you.
what?
Can you do me a 2-minute freestyle set of your comedy?
A 2 minute freestyle set. Oh my god, that is put on the spot, I must say.
Yes. And I got my booze. Hold on, let me find out.
First of all, you're not booing me. I'm not about to.
You see,
No
you hear
boo.
that?
Ain't no boo.
If it's
Yeah.
like that, that's what you get.
No, because if you don't laugh, you transphobic.
No, we not doing that. No, we not doing that.
Why we not
Okay.
doing that? That's real though. I can see that's how I get the people. I get them with stuff like that. I say, yeah.
Okay. Now see, I can give you.
No, I'm. First of all, I appreciate you asking me to do so. You might actually find some jokes within your Black Car Revoke because I'm pretty sure I don't know a lot of that stuff. I ain't got no 2 minute set right now. I don't have it.
Oh my,
I
you
don't
got.
have it.
Oh my God. See, you
I
don't
don't.
have. You got a really good joke for me. You say you've been
I'm
writing a
trying
joke
to
a day.
think. What are all my jokes about? My jokes be like really. They're either really really raunchy
That's fine.
or they are really 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 like. Nah, I'm not about to do that. I'm about to be doing some religious stuff soon. So let me.
You say no, no. You're not gonna catch me up. Okay, I won't
Yeah, no,
listen.
but I mean, I was like I said, I was generally look, and what I always tell people is, look, I was this way my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
until I met Jesus, and he fucked the shit out of me.
Lord Jesus, I'll give you that. No, you didn't. You done
He was
brought Jesus.
Latino.
He was like who?
So he was Latino.
Oh, oh, Jesus.
You didn't-
You got Jesus to do all
yes,
that to you.
Jesus, not Jesus, but
Not
Jesus.
Jesus, but Jesus.
Yes, Jesus.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, got a little. I like that one. All right, so let's play this black card revoke because you might can get this. All right, see, I'm gonna pick out my first card. Let's see. You might get this, hopefully, because you take in so much television and social media and podcasts. You might get this. You might remember this. So, first question: if they climbing through your windows, you should hide your A, money, B, Easter eggs, C, kids and wife, or D, television.
Kids and wife.
You said kids and wife.
Yeah. Yeah, I know who that is. That was I
Your
forgot
boy
his name.
Antoine Dawson.
Yeah, Antoine Dodson. I was about to say red scarf.
Yeah. Nobody ever gets that. That's why I'm
I
like,
don't
how
know
you,
why people don't get that.
you
Hide your
don't remember
kids,
that
hide your
song?
wife. Come on, yeah,
How
come
your
on.
kids, hide your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell people hide your wife, hide your husband.
Oh Lord. Okay. Next one. What do they call drugs at 74th Street Baptist Church? A, a shame. B, the devil's work. C, a sin is sin. Or D, evil.
The devil's work?
You playing with me, right?
Nigga, you gotta remember you from another place. You feel me?
Well, around here between Normandy and Weston, we call this here a little 20.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Friday.
I did not. I'm gonna be honest, like
You never watched Friday with
I
Bernie Mac?
have. I don't remember Friday like that. Like I was not a fan of it like that.
Lord, here.
Okay.
That's what
I
you get.
know, I know. You know, yeah. Told you I'm not that black.
You black enough. Stop playing with me.
I'm trying to
And
get
so
more black in me,
you
particularly 6'4" and tall.
know what?
Told you would get the set during the Black Card Revolt. That's when you get the set. Don't get the set most of the time.
I got it. I got it. I'm
Four and
with you on
higher,
that.
baby. 6'4". Oh my God.
We're
I
getting six.
soften the voice for the 6'4", brother.
I'm dead. 6'4" too tall for me. I'm 5'4". I need somebody at least.
Exactly. I'm 5'4" too. So yo, you can.
So you trying to climb the tree?
I ain't trying to climb the tree. I'm trying to be at the height where I can just, I
Lord.
can walk into a blessing.
If he got the blessing, you gotta walk right into it.
Yeah,
You
just
got it.
walk right into it. You feel me?
Okay.
Mouth open.
We'll do one last one. You a mess. And someone pushed their hand up on your hip. What is the appropriate response? A, I dip. B, we dip. C, you dip. Or D, all of the above.
All of the above. I did, you did,
Yeah.
we did. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that one, right? Yeah. Where the applause at? We're going to give you a little applause. There you go. There you go.
I appreciate
All
you
right.
so much for saying that. All of that, That's for making me even activate my softer voice now because I'm thinking about the 6'4" NBA player that, I'm
Oh,
going
oh.
to
Okay.
peruse one day. That was my
Yes.
plan all last year, All Star Weekend, because I just had some face work done. So I was like, I
You
was
looking
trying to
for
get, I was trying to get an All Star team in my throat. It did not happen though.
ma'am. 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 I'm so you know what? We got to close out on that note for you. Oh Lord
Right, you done got
Jesus.
me started now.
I see. It took you a
I'm about
second
to
to
go
warm
meet my
up.
little brother girlfriend. My little brother, he said he wants the whole family to come over there, and I said, "What you got everybody coming over for?" He said, "Oh, this girl, she gonna be here. Mom gonna be here." I said, "Is she pregnant?" The hell you doing? Having everybody come over to meet somebody?
Listen,
Is she pregnant, brother? What's going on?
are you dropping a new load? I mean, let me
Exactly. Like, come
understand.
on. Am I about to be a TT? Let me know, because
You so silly.
I'm excited about it. I'm waiting for it. I mean, I already got like two of my cousins' babies who like my nephews.
Mm-hmm.
But once I become TTC, I'm really excited because I get them like whatever they want, and they 5 and 6 now.
Oh,
And so
spoil
like
them to
they
death.
get gifts from me all the time. TT, once I'm TT, whoever
Uh-huh.
that is, yeah, they getting the world. So
I love it. I love it. So, last words. Any aspiring words for radio personalities, radio talent?
radio
Um,
personalities don't do it, yo. What are you doing, yo? Go do something else with your life.
you know what? That's so rude.
Yeah, I,
I'm a whole radio personality. How you gonna say?
you're a little late in the game. Be IG, honey, y'all. For y'all new, I'm just playing with you. Y'all gotta be IG honeys. That's where it's at right now. Go get
Listen,
your body done. Don't get no work. Don't
I'm so
don't work on your craft. Get your body done.
I'm so done with you
Get
at
your
this
body
point.
done. This is the time.
I'm so done with you.
I just
So
got augmentation. Come on, get your body done.
give some real words of wisdom, old crazy.
God, get your body done. That's
Get your
my
body,
word.
Lord
Get
Jesus.
your body done. You feel me?
You don't really tell them
Get
to get
your
their
body
body done.
done. For fellas, you can get your body done too. I heard they giving out extendos for the 1400. They giving out.
I got to go. Listen here, Morgan Sherm. Tell them
I
where to follow you
love,
at.
I love you. You can follow me at Morgan Looks. Make sure that y'all continue to support Girl Talk with my homie J Bell. She is really amazing, just a beautiful interviewer and such a wonderful spirit. And yeah, very just fresh air.
Thank you so much, Morgan. Thank you so much for being a part of this and sharing your story
Mhm.
and being very
Even though she
open.
likes to dress like Sleeping Beauty, y'all, she is really
What? I don't even know what like Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, you got the fluffy, puffed out arms. You got the.
Listen, I'm on camera. I gotta make sure I look cute. Okay?
I just threw on a hoodie. She said she gonna throw out her puffed out arms like she's Sleeping Beauty. She about to go to sleep. Got the ginger hair. I see you. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm so done with you.
Go, honey. Let's go.
Oh my! You know what? I'm so done with you, Morgan. Okay, people, make sure you're following Morgan on all of her social media channels.
Everywhere, and what is? I think I have something that people get in with, because this is something that was told to me when I was 19. It's always stuck with me.
Okay.
What you don't do only affects you. What you do affects someone you may never see.
Ooh, wait a minute. You got to give applause on that. I need to just copy out that clip right now and share it to everybody. Like my southern side just came out. Listen, you just told some words, honey. I like that one. That's good. That is very, very good. And also make sure you are listening to her podcast, Another Element. When does it drop?
Well, we're supposed to drop on Thursdays, but I don't know if I'm gonna upload today because I don't think I'm getting the video till tomorrow. So
well, on Thursdays, you check out
on Thursdays, Fridays, sometimes
whenever. All streaming platforms, check it out whenever you want to.
All streaming platforms, YouTube, all of that. We're trying to get it on NFT.
Okay.
I was just playing. NFT, I'm gonna sell that joint for Oregon.
What? Bye, Morgan. People, we got to go for Morgan.
Black market. I'm starting to do a black market podcast. This thing. I don't know who's selling kidneys this week.
Good night. Bye, people. We'll talk to y'all later.
I adore you.